Sigma just replaced one of the most popular APS-C lenses ever made. This is the new Sigma 15mm F1.4 DC for APS-C mirrorless cameras, the successor to Sigma's hugely popular 16mm F1.4 DC. And somehow they have managed to make it almost half the size and weight. How? I sure don't know. I'm not a lens designer. But what I can do is test it thoroughly and find out whether there are any trade-offs. Significantly smaller and lighter than its predecessor. Available in E-mount, Fujifilm X and Canon RF APS-C. 58mm filter thread. Minimum focus distance 17.7 centimeters. Clicked type dedicated aperture ring. Paddle-shaped hood included. Dust and splash resistant. Water and oil repellent coatings. 9-blade rounded diaphragm. Part of Sigma's contemporary line. On APS-C, 15mm gives you roughly the same field of view as a 24mm lens on full frame. A focal length I have always liked. It's wide enough to capture the environment, but still natural enough that your subject doesn't feel overly distorted. That makes it great for environmental portraits, fashion, travel, street photography, and even immersive handheld video. I also used the 16mm F1.4 a few years ago, so I'm fairly familiar with that lens. That should help me see where this new one improves and where it might not. Time to see this lens in action. On the Sony a6700's 26-megapixel sensor, sharpness wide open is already near peak in the center with strong contrast. The corners are soft, but they gradually improve as you stop down, nearly matching the center by around f8. Beyond that, diffraction starts to set in, as expected. Overall, performance is strong across the rule of thirds area. This lens relies quite heavily on in-camera corrections for distortion and vignetting. With those corrections turned off, you will see noticeable barrel distortion. Vignetting is also quite pronounced at f1.4 and doesn't fully clear up until around f11. Yes, f11. In practical use, this isn't a major issue, since built-in corrections or a quick adjustment in post take care of it easily. That said, it's important to remember that the lens does rely on those corrections to deliver a clean image. When shooting directly into a light source, there is some visible flaring. But overall contrast is well maintained. As you can see in these daytime tests, the flaring is fairly controlled and not something to worry about. You also start to get some pleasing sun stars from around f8. Wide open at f1.4, there is some longitudinal chromatic aberration with magenta and green fringing visible in high contrast areas. It improves noticeably as you stop down, and by around f5.6 it's largely under control. Lateral chromatic aberration is also present at wider apertures, but cleans up by about f2.8. You may still notice it occasionally even in video, especially in more challenging scenes such as this one. Overall, the performance here is little underwhelming. Wide-angle lenses aren't usually known for their background blur, but the f1.4 aperture here still lets you isolate your subject reasonably well. You won't get the kind of compression or heavy blur you'd see from longer focal lengths, but the rendering is pleasing enough to give your shots some separation and depth. At wider apertures, there's a noticeable cat's eye shaping. As you stop down, those highlights even out, and the rounded aperture blades help keep them looking more consistent across the frame. This lens can focus as close as 17.7 centimeters, giving you a maximum magnification of around 1 to 7.9. Detail is already quite usable wide open, but stopping down to around f4 noticeably improves clarity. Autofocus is powered by a stepper motor, which is more than capable for a wide-angle lens like this. It feels quick, quiet, and consistently accurate. Tracking is reliable, and overall performance is exactly what you would expect from modern Sigma lenses. There's a slight amount of focus breathing, but with a focal length this wide, it's barely noticeable in practical use. Whether you are shooting handheld or racking focus between subjects, it remains subtle enough to go largely unnoticed. A focal length like this, combined with a fast aperture, creates a very immersive look, capturing both the subject and the surrounding environment in a dynamic way. So it improves on the 15mm F1.4 in size and weight without obvious compromises. It's not flawless, the aperture ring isn't declicked, which limits smooth exposure shifts in video, and it doesn't lock in place, so it can slip out of the A position easily, especially when mounting. Alternatives in this range include the Viltrox 15mm F1.7 Air, Sony has the 15mm F1.4 G, and for Fujifilm shooters, there's the 16mm F1.4 WR. But if you want a wide-angle prime that's easy to carry and can handle portraits, fashion, travel, and immersive video, this lens is hard to beat.